guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. All right, so I tried to spruce it up for you a little bit. I have a little background behind me. It's not that big of a deal. It literally was put together in minutes. So don't get too excited. This is probably gonna change as we evolve the technology here on the channel. But I wanted to get a video up for you. First of all, I have to say, last night's debate was amazing, okay? Amazing. President Trump gave us everything we wanted from him in that first debate. I really hope that if you were watching the first debate and then you watched the second debate, that you feel the same way I did, that he really came with everything he could have come with. He was composed. I think the 2-minute like mute your mic thing was good for him because it allowed him time to kind of think about what he was going to say. Compose his thought process. Now for Joe, it didn't work so well because as we know, the more Joe talks, the stupider Joe sounds. But I wanted to not talk to you about the debate because I did do a live last night with about 50 people, which was really, really exciting. Thank you all for joining. But I want to go to one of my favorite things to talk about, which is The View. Oh my gosh. Okay, so a couple days ago, Jill Biden was on The View, Dr. Jill Biden. Now, I want to clarify, okay, because there are some people out there that get their words confused, okay, like coyote, which we're going to talk about in a second. Actually, I'm going to make a different video about the whole coyote thing, but please make sure to subscribe to my channel. Please make sure to like this video, comment on this video, and share this video, okay? Because it's very, very important to the life of the channel, okay? And I really appreciate those of you that already are. Anyways, let's get into it. So Dr. Jill Biden, doctor of education, okay, not medical doctor, because a lot of people are like, oh, she's a doctor. She knows what she's talking about. Just because she has a doctor in her name does not mean she's smart. Okay, so she was on The View, which I've said a couple times now. And I want to go through this interview they did with her, okay? Because they talked about a lot of things. They talked about her going out on the campaign trail, obviously in place of her husband, because he's locked up in a basement for the most part. And they talked about her opinion about the the immigration border issue and a few other things. So I want to take this time to do one of your favorite things that you love to do with me and go through this video or this interview and just kind of have a little commentary throughout it so you guys can laugh along with me, okay? So let me go ahead and play the first clip so that you guys can see what I see. We can talk about it. Here's the first clip.
You must be exhausted. And this
so
is
I
like
tired.
Yeah, a little. No, you don't look tired.
I am meeting so many people as I.
Okay, so you hear Whoopi comment to her, "How tired are you? I would be exhausted." Guarantee you, she's not tired from this campaigning. Okay, she's tired probably having to change Joe's diapers and remind Joe where he's at. And, remind Joe who he is. So I just think it's so funny how they like ask her how tired she is, okay? Trump is the one that should be tired. He's the one that's literally in a different state, 2 times a day talking to people. In fact, this morning he was in Florida campaigning right after the election. I would have been like, I need a break, okay? But this man just goes and goes and goes. Meanwhile, he's signing peace treaties with Sudan. Seriously, she's tired. Give me a break. Let's keep watching.
Manager said over the weekend that this race is far closer than experts say and that the next weeks are going to be hard. While the polls are in your favor, do you feel that way also? And how tight do you think this election actually is?
I see a lot of good energy out there. I see a lot of crowds. Yesterday I was in Michigan and we have these things now. They're like you go to a drive-in theater and people sit in their cars and there were 250 some cars, and then I give my speech and people are honking. And
so Jill is hosting her campaign rallies, and so is Obama and Biden at drive-in movie theaters, okay, where people are in their car honking from their car. They have to stay in there because, as you know, we have this deadly virus going around, okay? I wonder if they're sitting there with masks on in their cars, like you see those fools driving around with masks on their cars. Obama just did something similar. He did some like sidewalk event, okay? it cracks me up that they sit here and say that the race is close, okay? When they can't even fill a drive-in theater, okay? Trump, meanwhile, is holding his campaign rallies in stadiums, okay? Today in Florida, he was at a polo field at a country club, okay? Meanwhile, they're doing drive-in theaters. Impressive. Really freaking impressive. Let's keep watching.
You know, all of us are sickened to hear that the parents of more than 545 migrant children separated at the border have yet to be tracked down because the government failed to keep track of their parents' whereabouts. I can't believe this. Yeah. And a lot of the parents may have already been deported.
Okay, so this is something that I have been dying to talk about. So last night they brought up that 545 children are currently in immigration detention centers without their parents, okay? They are looking for their parents, okay? So of course to the average person, they're shocked to hear this, okay? This is actually not anything new, okay, that has been going on. In fact, I cringe because they fail to acknowledge, and Trump said it multiple times, they fail to acknowledge that this whole detention center, this whole immigration policy was supported and put in place, actually expanded, it was already in place when Clinton was in office, but was expanded on by President Obama and reinforced by President Obama and Vice President Biden, okay? Those cages that you see, okay? Actually, I'm going to show you a picture of the cages, okay? The cages that the media likes to put out there are actually the pictures of the cages and the living conditions that were the way they were when President Obama was running things, okay? I'm going to throw up a picture here of a current photo of inside the detention center and what it looks like, okay? I do not see cages, okay? I see very nice bunk beds. President Trump has literally turned these detention centers into a low-level Four Seasons for these people, okay? You have to understand where they're coming from. They're escaping their country for a reason because these people are literally living on top of each other, okay, in horrible conditions in their country. Second of all, let's talk about those children. Notice they said 545 children are looking for their parents, okay? Now, a small percentage of them may have been separated when their parents were detained or however that happened. But I want to tell you guys facts. The majority of children that sit at the border or at these detention centers alone are there because their families sold them to the coyotes, okay? Or sold them into human trafficking. Or they were coming across the border and they got separated. Maybe their parents died. Maybe the coyotes came and abducted them from wherever they were. Go and Google or YouTube some videos about the life of an immigrant crossing the Mexican border, and you will see what they have to go through. You will see these terrible conditions that they subject their children to if they are in fact coming across with their children, okay? And risks that they take. How is that the fault of President Trump? How is it the fault of President Trump that you are knowingly going across the border, knowing what the consequences are, and then you get caught or your child gets taken from you by the coyote, not by anybody at the detention center, okay? And, you know, they want to blame it all on Trump, okay? My dad used to work at the Mexican embassy in Mexico, okay? And he will tell you, there is no line of parents lining up there every day to claim their lost children. No. They're lining up, okay, for the chance to come across the border. Legally, okay? But they're lining up for the chance to come across the border, okay? Nobody's there going, I lost my child. Nobody, okay? So I just want to point that out, okay? Because everything needs to be put in perspective here. You know, you've been told that these conditions at the detention center are just these deplorable conditions. They're being treated badly. You know, even when there were cages set up, the whole purpose for those cages was to actually keep the women and children safe because there were so many sexual predators that were inside these detention centers because those were the sexual predators that were trying to cross over our border to come into our country, okay? they were there with them because they have to detain these people. So they built these cages to keep the women and children safe. Okay, now Trump has gone in there and he has put bunk beds in there. It is clean. They are getting 3 square meals a day, okay, which they were not getting in their country. Okay, so get out of here with that children at the border, cages, BS. We all know Trump didn't build the cages. Obama built the cages. That question wasn't answered last night, even though Trump asked it many, many times. But Obama built the cages, okay? Trump even did an interview where I believe when the New York Times came out with the first article about this, okay, the company or the guy that ran the company that actually built those cages called President Trump to tell him, hey, listen, I attest to you that you're not the one that built these cages, okay? President Obama and his administration asked my company to build these cages. So get your facts straight. Let's keep watching the movie or the interview. Sorry.
Jill, COVID cases are on the rise again here and around the world.
Here comes Ana Navarro with her. I can't listen. I hate this woman's voice. I hate her voice. And I guarantee you, okay, Ana Navarro's got a 2-piece and a biscuit underneath that desk of hers that she snacks on because the woman constantly looks like she's been eating. Okay. Anyways, she's going to come in here and talk about the rising COVID cases, which we all know is a lie. Is a lie. Let's keep watching.
So what would Joe do differently?
Oh my gosh. I mean, Joe, really, we can't do anything until we get this virus under control. And you've heard this, the scientists and the doctors, that's who we're following. And they are saying, wear your mask, socially distance. And we've got to come together. We've got to, you know, this can't be a political issue. This is a public health issue. And if you're not going to wear your mask for yourself, wear it for your neighbor who's undergoing chemotherapy and her.
So, okay. What Jill is saying is completely false, okay? Anthony Fauci himself, which we go back and forth with liking him and believing him, has said that the masks that people wear, unless they are the N95 masks, are really providing little to no protection to you of the virus, okay? Second of all, her little comment about if you're not going to wear the mask for yourself, wear it for your neighbor. Let me just ask you something. If I'm not going to do something for myself, I damn sure ain't going to do it for my neighbor, okay? And P.S., if the mask works so well, my neighbor should put on a freaking mask and maybe stay in their house. That's what I think about that. The masks are BS, okay? And she says, oh, this is being, you know, this shouldn't be used as a political issue. It's been used as nothing but a political issue. And it's really, really sad to see that people are not waking up and realizing that, you know, we're not saying that you shouldn't, you know, take precautions and wash your hands a couple extra times, but they are literally trying to shut down our country. They are literally trying to keep our children out of school. They are trying to shut down churches and worship. And I'm sorry, okay? But all of that is unnecessary. We didn't do it for the flu. We didn't do it when Obama had, you know, his whole Ebola, you know, claim to fame, which was not even a big deal. We didn't get this crazy. We're only getting this crazy because it's an election year, because these Democrats are desperate, okay, to keep us inside and keep us uninformed and not allow us to talk to each other and connect with each other, because they know if we could do it, okay, we wouldn't be as desperate as some people are to believe the lies of the Biden campaign, you know? So let's keep watching.
But what would you like to tell Donald about his push to reopen schools? I personally am very, very skeptical of opening all of these schools. So far, it seems to have worked out a little bit because of some schools are having precautions. But this one-size-fits-all does not work.
We are listening to what the doctors and the scientists are telling us. And when it's safe to go back, we'll go back. But right now, you know, we have to do this remote learning. I mean, parents are doing an incredible job. I know how hard it is. You know, I'm in the classroom and parents are trying to work and they're trying to help their kids with their remote learning and run households. And I have to say, our teachers.
So I love how she says parents are doing an incredible job. You know, we want to go back to school as quick as anybody else, but We don't need to rush it. Yes, we do need to rush it, okay? I'm a parent. I was doing homeschooling with my kids, and it was hell on earth, and I wasn't doing an incredible job. I was really sucking at it. My children hated it, okay? And they weren't learning anything, okay? So I want to address that. Second of all, okay, I love how they paint this picture out to be so great, you know, that we can teach our children from home, okay? But what they're not talking about is the recent article of the little girl who was on a Zoom call with her classroom, and the teacher witnessed on the Zoom call, as did the other students, her being sexually violated on the Zoom call, okay? Then you want to talk about the children that are in abusive homes where they don't have proper nutrition, okay? So that meal that they would get at school, or that 8 hours of safety that they would get at school, they now don't have because they're trapped at their house, okay, with these parents. Now, granted, you know, it's not the responsibility of the school system to, you know, save all these kids, okay, from their bad home situation. But, you know, we do have to be honest with ourselves and understand that it is important that children go to school. Since the beginning of time, children have gone to school, okay? It's important for social learning skills. It's important for education. It's important to be exposed to other human beings and have, you know, social interaction. It's important for their safety. It's important for their health. Okay, I guarantee you these kids aren't doing PE at home. No, they're taking that break like my son did, and they would get on the video games, okay? Or they would take a nap. That's what they're doing. This is not a better situation for our kids, and we need to get all the kids back to school ASAP. Let's keep watching.
And on Monday, he claimed that there's some sort of story on the way about a scandal involving your family that will, quote, make him almost an impotent candidate. How do you feel about these constant personal attacks, and how do you respond to them?
You know, as a mother, I mean, I don't like to see my son attacked, and certainly I don't like to see my husband attacked. But for me, or to me, these are distractions. I mean, this election is not about Joe Biden or Jill Biden or Kamala or Doug. It is about the American people. The American people don't want to hear these smears against my family. The American people are struggling right now. I mean,
okay, so last but not least, we're going to talk about the question that Sunny asked Jill about the attacks, okay, that her husband experienced at the debate by President Trump, okay? Anybody who knows anything knows that whenever you see Joe Biden or Kamala, or even when you were watching the, you know, the confirmation process for Amy Coney Barrett, every single one of these Democrats took that opportunity, whether it had anything to do with the situation at hand or not, and used it to trash talk Trump. He's the one that gets constantly berated all the time and criticized for everything, okay? Meanwhile, he's over there doing business and making peace treaties, okay, and working on vaccines for the virus. It's ridiculous how they intentionally skew the facts, okay? Then you see Sunny bring up the fact that Trump, you know, has been revealing all these things about Hunter Biden, okay? Notice that she never once really addressed it directly. She never said none of it's true. In fact, you haven't heard anybody denounce that it's true, okay? She just said she doesn't like people attacking her son. And I get that. As a mother, I get that. It really doesn't matter what your kids do, you know, as a family unit, as a mother, as a father. Obviously, you hold your kids accountable. You have that conversation within your family. So it's never easy when the whole world is watching a situation unfold, and you have to witness, you know, the consequences of your children's actions. I mean, granted, he's an adult, you know, come out in front of the whole world. But she quickly tried to change the subject and say, the American people are not interested in that. They're not interested in talking about my family's personal business. Excuse me? Yeah, we are, okay? Because your son wasn't just doing crack, okay? He wasn't just sleeping with hookers, okay? He was doing business deals with Russia and China, okay? Putting the safety of our country at risk, okay? Giving them access to things that they shouldn't have access to, funneling money back and forth, making, you know, hundreds and thousands and millions of dollars, okay, doing all this stuff. So you're damn right we want to know. You're damn right this is what we want to talk about. I could care less about the cages at the border. I could care less about talking about coronavirus. I could even care less about the damn vaccine. Okay, Jill, you need to know we want all the information to come out on your son. We need the truth to come out, okay? And we need you and your husband to finally admit that you done fucked up. Okay? Excuse my French, but that's just what it is. Anyways, I'm gonna end the video here. I've been going on for 25 minutes. I don't wanna go any further, but I will link those two videos. It's a two-part interview. I'll link it below so you guys can watch it. Let me know what you think. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to share this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And if you want to follow me on any other place but here, I am on Instagram, Parler, Wimkin, and Twitter, all under Let's Talk Darling. I will talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching.